Okay, hello there guys. It is currently 9 a.m. on the 23rd of January. This is a video on Double Bubble and the next evolution of this 3-3 comp. We were playing Ball Sigma before, and now I think we can carry on with this core. We can build up and almost pick up where we left off, and we can integrate it into a new style. And yes, as it says, Double Bubble. So let's just get straight into it. Hopefully this won't be too long, but just grab a drink and get ready to take some notes as well, because there's a lot of stuff I'm going to fly through. This is going to be a lot of information, but this PowerPoint will be there to try and help you guys, and this video is also going to be there to helpful. It is snowing outside as well, so I'm very happy. So, Double Bubble. This was, I guess, the next evolution of 3-3. However, it's been played before. This was before Ball Sigma came about. And let's just first provide the context for this. So, this is the context for it. This is based off this. Why I'm making this video and why I think this is going to be an extra comp for us to grind is based off all the changes on the experimental going live, which I think there's no reason why all of them should not. The usual diversion of meta and the current strong heroes. And this comp has been on the fringe for a while. It's almost pushing through. This variation of 3-3 is very strong against all three of the comps due to its variation. All three of the standard comps. Double shield is a bit dead as of right now. Sort of DPS are very strong. Sustain and tanks are down a fair bit, and this really does open up the opportunity for this kind of style of play. And also as well, that I'm not sure how base that screenshot is, but there is a leaked screenshot of the NY Excelsior and the San Francisco Shock scrimming, and the San Francisco Shock were opting to go for this composition. So the original 3-3, yeah, it was brought in before Ball Sigma. Essentially, these are the only two heroes. The comp is called Double Bubble, and this is it. Winston and Zarya, it is something that we saw synergistically in floats. We've not seen it really since, but the idea, the fundamental power of this Double Bubble sort of mini floats composition comes in is because D.Va overall, kind of weak, can be taken easily. You don't really need to, you can't really go in with the Winston in the same way that you could never really go in with Ball. So you could always think about playing Ball instead of Winston, but for now I do like the Double Bubble because of particularly the style of heroes that we'll see played next. So the Winston would potentially dive in or walk up. He would get the bubble from his Zarya. He would then get his own bubble. He would lose his armor. He would skirmish if he couldn't go in for a kill to trade and hopefully trade 2-3 for 1 and win the fight and take out their back line. He would just be able to jump out. So this is obviously a prime example. It's Route 66. Bit of a scuffed graphic, I know, but hopefully we can see here, we can see the Winston. And obviously the Zarya will bubble in. This is a prime example. This Zarya will go probably actually onto the high ground here. Or we have our Ana, for example, pushing the payload. I would say actually Ana is a core hero to this as well. I probably missed that off because the Ana's ability to LOS the Winston. However, sometimes you don't necessarily need that Ana because of how quickly you are fighting. But overall, I would say, as you can see in the two groups that I've sort of put this style of comp into, the two variations, then yes, you definitely do want the Ana. So your Winston will get the bubble as he lands, not as he goes in, as he lands, to prevent CC. He will then get his own bubble. He'll be able to skirmish for the duration of his bubble by bubble dancing and putting all this cleave onto the high ground. He will then be able to drop down. He will get healed up by his Ana. And then once that projected bubble comes up again, the exact same thing will happen. And all this time, this Zarya is building charge, and your Ana is building charge, and your flankers are constantly on these areas looking for picks. So, complementary pieces. Unlike Double Shield and other comps we've played in the past, these pieces come in bundles because it dictates actually how we play. The main decision is whether you need the Lucio or not. You do always basically want to run an Ana, especially for the Winston. There is some times where you are more brawly, you are more 6-0 than you are 3-3. You start 3-3 and you collapse into 6-0, and that is when you want the Moira. So, Group 1, we've got Lucio, Moira, Ana, Sombra, Reaper, Tracer, Doom. So what does this core tells us? Well, this core tells us we have a Lucio, so this means we're going to be speeding our Zarya into the fight. We are looking to get our Zarya into the fight as fast as possible, so she can take pressure off the Winston using her personal bubble. We have Sombra, which is incredibly good at disabling tanks and is a very effective flanker. We have Reaper, effective flanker, good at disabling tanks. We have Tracer, very strong pick right now, can one-shot squishies, very mobile. Doomfist, exactly the same, can cyberbully tanks, but can also do funny rollouts onto the supports. All of these guys have quick, fast, clean engage. Reaper, especially against like more traditional dive comps, can be quite good. In terms of priority list, this is probably not the best. I probably should have done it in terms of priority, guys, but in terms of priority for what DPS you really want to be playing, you would play Sombra first, then you would play Tracer, then you would play Doomfist. Genji, you actually can play it, but it's a bit niche. I would say play Genji against comps that want to Giga Stack, basically like Baptiste Brig based, Bat Brig based comps. Because yes, obviously you can get absolutely fisted, but when they're stacked together, the Nano Blade is going to be really, really tasty for us. Um, Obviously, Genji itself is a niche hero. It's dog shit. I saw a guy in ranked yesterday. He had 400 hours on Genji, and he's like 3.1k peak. And at that point, it's just the hero that's massively holding him back. If he had that many hours on Echo, he'd probably be in Masters. But it is what it is, so fuck Genji. But we have two decently good Genji players on the team. I know Jeff likes Genji. So it's always good to try and take a break. If scrims aren't going the best and we're not getting the best value when we're tilted, hey, go over to the Genji, go over to the Ana, play this Lucio Ana, Genji Sombra or Genji Tracer kind of comp. Don't feel bad about swapping it up, like as long as we preserve our mental and we get the good practice in when we need to. Some fights we always don't have to run Sombra Reaper guys. But some fights we can get away, some scrims we can get away with running Tracer Genji as well. So we've got to have a little bit of fun in the same time, additionally. Okay, so moving on to Group 2. We've got Brig this time, so we've got no speed boost. So this is more against comps that are going to be looking to hard engage on us. Again, where we get the value out of the Brig. This is one of the pitfalls that we found playing this Ball Sigma comp, that our Brig wasn't really getting that much value. Brig Ana, so that Brig obviously there to peel for the Ana, as your Ana needs to be alive to essentially pocket your Winston and swing fights herself. Ana is very, very powerful in this comp, guys. It's basically the core piece as Zen was in the old composition in that Ball Sigma. Obviously, when we play Brig, we are then free to play Echo, and Echo is really, really good because you can play it against more spammy comps and you can play it against double shield because of her ability to just clean people up very, very effectively. If we play Echo, then we probably should play Sombra. However, Tracer can also be played as well, but Echo Sombra, I think definitely. If you're playing against Brawl comps, and there's a lot of open space, then definitely go for that Echo Sombra because we can take fights around health packs, we can use the health packs for our Winston, and we can spam with that Echo. There's also the option of, in this style with the Brigitte, to play with the Ana to play Pharmacy, and sort of in this sort of slower kind of spammy more style. The Group 1, that is more of a brawly 3-3, go on their backline and speed go on their backline, speed our backline as far up as we can whilst our front line is engaging. With this one, we can sort of play back. We can play Ana, we can play Pharah, we can play Mercy, we can play Zarya, we can play Winston, and we can play probably Sombra again. Pharah is possible, but I think obviously you have to Ana, and it's not the best because what teams will do is they'll just dive our Ana off cooldown, and Zarya doesn't really do much to peel. You've basically got one person a bubble. And if we can play Pharah in a defensive style and expect that dive, then yes. But again, this is all about decision making. We can play Pharah in peel dive, but I think there's just better options overall. Like if they're playing dive against us, we can just go Ana Brig and bully them that way. Again, Genji in this composition, kind of niche. Definitely more so fitted and a lot better for Group 1. So, why these two groups? Much like Ball Sigma 3-3, you get the right split to be able to have both sides function to the max efficiency in the same way that Ball needed two flankers to engage and the Zen needed two people to peel for him. You get the ability to anti-nade when the Winston is skirmishing, you get the heals onto the Winston, you get the bubble onto the Winston, and you get the peel for both of them that Lucio provides, and the ability to speed them around. More importantly, you get the peel for the Ana, which is a bit less than Brig, but you also get the massive ability to speed your Zarya into the fight. And on maps where you can take short dives as the fight goes long, the Zarya will start to take over the game. As I said, with the threat of Zarya late, this composition is a lot better as your backline is actively involved with the front 3-2. Your Ana will be healing the Winston, your Zarya will be bubbling, and the Lucio will be looking to speed them into the fight. In particular, speed your Zarya into the fight, and then she can join it that way. This is kind of a brawl dive hybrid. Remember what Thor told us about this style. It's not just meaning the heroes. So Group 1 would be the sort of more brawl dive hybrid, and Group 2 is the sort of more dive spam hybrid. This competition actually like fucking destroys spam, by the way, or ball based comps in general, especially Group 2. If we play Ana Brig Sombra, the game is over for any ball composition. They cannot play ball into Ana Brig Sombra, guys. Absolutely not. Whilst Winston Zarya and any DPS will be able to tear through the Zen Brig backline that will come through from this from the likely ball composition, or any Brig based backline. of the comp. Obviously, we've got to be careful about rally fights. One of the quick tips is when they have a rally, we can mirror it with a nano on a Tracer, a nano on a Winston, because that rally armor is going to be very, very effective at denying the cleave damage from the Winston. The trick is to essentially start two fights, frontline versus backline. Our frontline is fighting their backline, and our backline is fighting their frontline. If one side is getting absolutely giga stomped, look to adjust the comp to go traditional brawl or traditional dive. So, general play. The core of this comp allows slow space with your Winston. You can play aggressively, but not at the pace where your ball can just all in a Zen. Like obviously Wrecking Ball used to. Like your Winston can't do that. You do have to slow the game down. You can stage what we talked about, the idea of renting space, walking forward, playing hard cover, skirmishing with your Winston. The later this fight goes, the better this composition has, because it's going to get our EMP charge, it's going to build our Zarya energy, it's going to build our nano, it's going to build our our pulse bomb charge. And it's going to force them slowly out of space, and then you can go for the kill with the ult, you can go for a hard engage with an ult, or you can go for a really effective high percentage dive. This comp has so many heroes that can just end a fight on their own, okay guys? We've got Zarya on high energy when that fight goes late. We've got Tracer one clips and pulse bombs. We've got an Ana anti-nade. We've got an Echo beam. We've got a Doom rocket punch. We've got Lucia boots. There's just so much playmaking potential to come out from everyone in this composition, which is why I really like it, because it's a really high expression of skill and mechanics. Against comps with low sustain or low CC, over a long fight, don't be afraid to play for a nano Winston engage. We can take poke with our Winston. We can sort of play these soft dives. When I talk about soft diving, walking up, skirmishing, building our primal, and then if we go nano primal, or if we go jump in with the nano to help our Winston build primal, or if he goes in with primal and then we nano him after primal, as long as we can overlap them correctly so that once nano ends we have primal, or once primal ends we nano them basically immediately after, we're going to be so good, because our Winston will just never fucking die. Never fucking die. And it's just going to be so much cleave, so much space is being bought by this Winston, that it's going to delay the fight. He's going to be doing a lot of damage, and it's going to be setting up opportunities for our flankers and our Zarya to join the fight and just end it. So, ultimate fights and win conditions. Nano Monkey with bubble, and aggressive nade onto him. Obviously, this is the Zarya bubble. And then aggressive nade onto him. We've got EMP and aggressive anti-nade, or EMP and Moira ult. Both of these absolutely fine at ending the fight. And we've got to make sure that this EMP Ana comp is a lot better when we have defensive control. In general, when we have that defensive sightline, when we have that defensive position, because our Ana can naturally stage higher, and they will be walking into us. They will walk into our EMP and into our Ana nade. On the flip side, when we're playing on control, for example, and we lose that first fight on Ana, we can look to just go to Moira, build Coalescence in one fight, and then run at them with EMP Moira ult. We can brawl with Rally or Cole in the neutral fight, because both of those are really, really good to just one ult fight win. And at the very least, if we don't win that fight, because they do have ults, they're going to have to overcommit. We've used Rally or Cole, and they're going to have to use something like Grav. They're going to have to mirror, which means that we can then put another ultimate in. And overall, it just either ends with us winning, or it ends with them over-trading to win the fight, which most of the time is good for us in the long run. We can nano Zarya Grav onto their front line as they dive, because our Zarya will just be able to grab and clean them up. Obviously, we're going to have the Ana heals, and we're going to have the Lucio being able to burst down targets as well. And at the very least, we're going to be able to force so many cooldowns from that. And again, a Nano Zarya is just going to absolutely shred. If it goes mid-fight as well and it gets skirmishy, Nano Zarya will just end a fight on their own. Peel EMP. So what we can do is we can bait in... we can bait to all in their front three by staging quite high up and then being prepared to counter dive. We can sit our Tracer and Invis behind our supports in our Zarya. We can have our Tracer or a Doom, most likely our Tracer, on the off angle, get ready to 1 or 2 blink back to look to peel to someone, and then we can have our Winston get ready to just counter dive, or put Monkey Bubble over both supports and just kind of 1v2 take both their supports out of the fight with his own Winston bubble. Because obviously we block the LOS, and we block the LOS of the heals. But particularly like peeling EMPs, if they're looking to all in on our backline, we can peel EMP and it's going to be so much damage. We get both tanks of Winston D.Va onto us, we EMP them, our Ana will just nade the floor, that's both their tanks antied, that's everyone on our team healing buffed. Our Lucio can speed our Ana back if we need, and then our Zarya, our Sombra and our Tracer should just do the cleanup from there. That D.Va will die every time. If she's EMP'd and antied, she's going to get insta-popped. Grav Pulse. again, against Transcendence, Grav Pulse is going to be really good because as Zarya can go in, she can fire it from a high ground, and then she can back out. And Grav Pulse is obviously going to burst through Transcendence, so they'll immediately Trans thinking, oh shit, we've got Grav, and then they just get Pulse bombed. And importantly, in those fights, we do have to make sure that we take down that D.Va DM, and we don't get that Pulse Eaton. Look to stick it onto the back of the D.Va bomb. Whichever our tracer is, look it to stick it onto the back of the D.Va mech. You can 180 blink flick. A lot of divas in this elo won't just have the skill to be able to effectively 180 eat. So if you can 180 blink behind the Grav and then stick it to the back of the D.Va mech, or just stick it to someone else out of the D.Va DM and maneuver it, then yeah. We can also use an early Grav to farm an EMP or a Nano. Obviously, if we get Grav early, it's going to be quite rare that we're going to get Grav before we get an EMP or a Nano up. There's a likelihood that we've already used Nano. The fight has gone so long that we've then built up Grav. And if we use that Grav, obviously in the same way that Sombra Goats did, we can use that Grav to farm EMP, and then from there, if they ult, we can track what ults they have. We also need to keep thinking about how they can win the fight. We can just use EMP and end it. But most of the time, if we get Grav as one of the first or second ultimates to come down in the fight overall, we should win it. Quick tips, so we want to save Primal, Doom ult, and Reaper ult for survivability sakes to extend the fight. We don't really want to be Doom graving. Yes, it's good, but that Doom needs ult as his primary escape, because that allows our Doom to all in with his cooldowns. Reaper ult, just use it to clean up. You're quite weak. You are in your weakest form when you are on Reaper. Remember that. So Reaper ult is something that we don't really care about. Use it the same way we use Pulse Bomb. If it's 3v3 and we need to win the fight quickly, just go into them and Death Blossom. We're not looking to make plays around Reaper ult. We're looking to play it and then use Reaper ult to end the fight. And basically, once we are ahead, we use Reaper ult to further snowball. It's not something that's going to help us win the fight, but it's going to help something snowball the fight, and it's going to help end the fight that way. If we have Echo, we can just EMP and Echo. Not duplicate, just go in with Echo. It's that overpowered. Echo duplicate in general can again just be used to extend that fight. This is why Echo also works in this composition. So perhaps we can start mixing in, especially in that group 2 bubble, we can start playing some Echo, because that ultimate is going to come up really fast, particularly if she gets nanoed, and it's going to allow her to get nanoed, build that ultimate up, go into that form, build that ultimate up, and then come out. So she's got a nanoed life, she's got, you know, the life of a tank, the tank's survivability ultimate potentially, or the tank's ultimate, and then she's going to come out with all of her cooldowns again. And this is why Echo is busted. And when we play Pharah, we can obviously Nano Barrage, and we can double bubble her. We can throw bubble over her, and we can give her the Zarya projected bubble. Nano Blade plus Zarya projected, or bubble here as I've called it, also the same thing. It's also possible that when we play Mercy, again, we can hard Valk engage with damage boost onto our Winston and both our flank DPS. If we land this initial burst damage with damage boost, we are going to kill someone. It really is that easy. So, last slide. Counters. Okay, so the main counters to this comp would be full spam or just standard brawl on a better map. Teams not elo may try and play Pharah against us, however, Echo is a thing. If we can't Echo, then we can simply try to outpace them with Pharah and Brawl. Remember, we are a Brawl comp, so if we 6-0 them and just all run in as a death ball and brawl them that way, then we're going to be able to kill them before the Echo can really do anything. Think about traditional ways of beating that Pharah, guys. We kill the 4 on the floor so that the 2 in the air can't really do much. Instead of doing that 3-3 and leaving our backline back, we bring them, we integrate them into that front line, and we brawl on them as a 6. Bunker can be hard, however, one fat anti, an Nano Winston or an EMP can just wipe them off the face of the map. Again, it's all about looking for those openings, looking for that Nano, looking for that anti-nade, looking for that crucial hack, looking for that dive, building up that energy, etc. We're always going to need ultimates to beat Bunker. We're going to see Bunker likely on 2CP, but most of the time to counter us. But when teams do play Bunker on 2CP, we can just beat it open with ultimates. Against Rhyme Brawl, it's all about kiting and going in with our ultis. We do have to catch them in rotation and use the bubbles to split off the healers from the tanks. Use that Winston bubble I'm talking about here. I probably should have renamed it, but I'll change it and put it in the team document so we're aware. We need to use a Winston bubble. If we can LOS the healers from the tanks and keep their healers in Winston bubble, we can either kill them or we can deny resources from their tanks. So we either burn the healers or we burn the tanks, one or the two. On open maps against Reinhardt Brawl, look to go into Group 2 as it spams a lot more. Echo Sombra Zen Brig should just destroy most Brawl comps, even with the Winston Zarya. Against Winston D.Va, we can disengage with speed. Obviously, the Lucio speed, we can boop the Winston away as he jumps, and we can set up our Sombra and Tracer to be ready to peel into counter dive. Ensure they do not trade for our Ana. We absolutely have to keep our Ana alive in this comp. Johnny, a Desariat in this comp, that primary bubble has to go basically onto the Ana. You have to make sure the Ana comes out of this fight. If they go Winston D.Va and dive onto us, you have to make sure that the Ana lives. That is the primary target when they play dive into us and we play this comp. Okay, guys, keep that Ana alive. We're gonna win the fight off the back of her because she gets so much value. She is so integral to our comp in the same way that Zen is also integral to the other comp. But the only downside here is that Ana is going to have to be playing a lot further forward than our Zen, so she's obviously a lot more at risk. But constantly, particularly our Lucio and our Zen, same way that our Zen and our Brig and our Sigma, keep an eye on our Ana. Where is our Ana? Keep our Ana alive. And that's it, that's going to be the video. I'm going to upload this, make some adjustments to the document, post it, and hopefully this wasn't too long. If you have any questions about the heroes that you're playing in the playstyle for them, shoot them to me in DMs. I hope this was helpful. I definitely think it was. It was a lot to process, so be fair to watch this video a couple times. Maybe refresh it every now and again, or just take your time with it and take notes as well. Yeah, I will see you guys in a bit. Peace, take care, and best of luck with this comp.